The second fixture of Premier League will have all the eyes concentrated on the game between Tottenham and Chelsea at Wembley. Let's have a preview of all games of this week. The fixture starts with Manchester United travelling in Wales to play against Swansea. After the big win against West Ham, the Red Devils want to keep on winning in order to increase their dynamic. Mourinho is expected to use pretty much the same tactics since the team had not suffered any injuries or suspensions. The only absences will be the injured Shaw, Young, and Rowe. Swansea on the other hand has sold Gylfi Sigurdsson and is expected to use a more defensive formation in order to keep United out of its area. Bournemouth hosts Watford and wants to win its first points after the away defeat against West Bromwich. Wilson and Stanislas are still injured, so both will miss the game. Watford is travelling to Dean Park without Cathcart, who is injured, and expects to have a positive result after the promising game against Liverpool where it managed to achieve a home draw. At Turf Moor, Burnley will host West Bromwich. Both teams had a great start as they won their opening game. The momentum is high for Burnley as it managed to shock Chelsea by winning in Stamford Bridge. The only player who is not available is Mane, who is still injured. West Bromwich won Bournemouth at home and is expected to use its tight type of game again in order to get a positive result against Burnley. Macaulay and Morrison are out while new signing Gareth Barry and Johnny Evans remain doubtful. Leicester will host Brighton and wants to win its first points. The team was not able to keep the advantage against Arsenal as the Gunners turned the game during the last minutes of the game. It needs to win the game in order to keep spirits high. It will miss Drinkwater and Huth again as well as Iborra. Slimani is fit and can play. Brighton lost against Manchester City at home at a game that was unable to show much. It travels at King Power aiming for its first points without Brown, Kyle, and Baldock. At Anfield, Liverpool will host Crystal Palace and cannot think of any other result besides the win. The Reds were equalised on the dying moments of the first game against Watford, missing the chance to start the season with a win. On Tuesday, Liverpool travelled in Germany where it grabbed an away win against Hoffenheim for the first leg of Champions League qualification. Lallana, Coutinho, Sakho and Klein are out with injuries while Sturridge remains doubtful. Crystal Palace lost against Huddersfield at home and travels to Merseyside aiming to have a good game and avoid defeat. Southampton missed many chances against Swansea on the opening game but failed to score any goals as the game ended 0-0. It plays at home for a second consecutive game and aims to win against West Ham. The Hammers lost heavily against Manchester United at Old Trafford and failed to show anything good. Southampton will not have Van Dijk while West Ham travels to St Mary's without Kouyaté, Lanzini and Carroll. The last game of Saturday is between Stoke City and Arsenal at Britannia. Stoke lost against Everton at Goodison Park but at home is a much different team. The good thing for Mark Hughes is that he has all players available to him. Arsenal struggled against Leicester but two late goals from Ramsey and Giroud gave the win to the Gunners. Venka will not have Koscielny, Sanchez, Cazorla, Gabriel and Wilshere while Gibbs is doubtful due to illness. On Saturday, Huddersfield will host Newcastle. The hosts managed to play above expectations against Crystal Palace and won 3-0 at Selhurst Park. Its first Premier League game is against Newcastle and hopes that will collect the 3 points which will give them even more confidence. On the contrary, Newcastle didn't start well as it lost at home against Tottenham, on a game that could have been much different if Shelvey had not received the red card. Huddersfield will not miss any players that used in the opening game while Newcastle will miss Lejeune, Dummett, and Shelvey. On the best game of the second fixture, Tottenham will host Chelsea at Wembley. The Spurs, who won Newcastle on the first game, will play for the first time at Wembley as hosts and want to win against one of their fierce rivals. Chelsea had a terrible start against Burnley at home as it lost 3-2 and also lost Cahill and Fabregas due to suspensions. Moses returns on the side but Kante's still missing the likes of Hazard, Bakayoko, and Pedro. Tottenham is also missing some players as Rose, Lamela, N'Koulou and Trippier are out. The fixture ends on Monday, with Manchester City playing at home against Everton. The citizens were able to win Brighton away with 2 goals during the final 20 minutes. Everton won Stoke at home with a goal from Wayne Rooney on the final moments of the first half. None of them impressed, but they have good teams, so we expect a good game. Mendy and Gundogan are still doubtful for City, but there are good chances for both to play as substitutes. Everton is still missing MacArthur, Bolasie, Barkley, Coleman and Funes Mori, while new signing Sigurdsson has good chances for starting on the game. What are your predictions for this fixture, and which teams do you think will be the winners of this week? Comment below. Thanks for watching.